Well, government moves to boost polio eradication efforts as Health Ministry inaugurates an expanded laboratory here in Nairobi, Kenya. Plus,
you will be prosecuted. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen sends stern warning to political goons operating in Homa Bay County.
Good evening and welcome to Prime Edition. I'm Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odim.
Top in this live broadcast. Another gold for Kenya.
3 times Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon wins the 1,500 meters in the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan. Saboteurs of free primary health care.
President Ruto warns errant medical personnel who ask for keto kidogo from patients.
Effective from tonight midnight, all workers in public universities will not be able to report to their duties.
Looming crisis.
University workers to start nationwide strike hours from now. Over 3 billion shillings in salary arrears. Plus, light at the end of the tunnel.
National Police Service and Police Service Commission resolved to proceed with the recruitment of police constables. Thank you very much for joining us. A very warm welcome to the program.
Talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Caroline Njoroge.
And let's start with that feel-good story. 3-time Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon maintained her dominance in the 1,500 meters to clinch her 4th consecutive world title on the 4th day of the World Athletic Championships in Tokyo, Japan.
Kipyegon, who is also the world record holder over that distance, becomes the second woman in history to win 4 world titles in the same track event after Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce of Jamaica, who boasts of 5 gold medals in the 100 meters.
Kipyegon, who is also a 3-time Olympic champion, the 1,500 meters clocked 3 minutes and 52.15 seconds to another title to her tally, finishing well clear ahead of her compatriot Dorcas Ewoi, who ran a personal best time of 3 minutes 54.92 seconds to secure silver and her first major championship medal. Australia's Jessica Hall settled for bronze in 3 minutes 55.16 seconds.
Win her 4th World Championship title. Faith Kipyegon now tied with the brilliant Ichimel Garouche.
Kipyegon, who is also the 1,500 meters world record holder, becomes only the second woman to win 4 world titles in the same track event after Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce, who has won 5 100 meters titles. Meanwhile, the latest Samuel Wanyonyi and Kilby finals of the 800 meters race. Tomorrow, all eyes will be on Faith Cherotich and Doris Lemngole as they take part in the 3,000 meter steeplechase final, where Timothy Cheruiyot and Reynold Cheruiyot will be out to win Kenya medals in the 1,500 meters finals. Wiseman Were will take to the field in the 400 meters hurdle semi-finals, hoping to make it to the final. Kenya currently ranks second on the medal table with 3 gold and 1 silver for a total of 5, behind the United States, who top with 8, which includes 6 gold medals. Meanwhile, Perez Jepchirchir jetted back in the country to a heroic welcome after a triumph in the women's marathon, where she won gold with a season best of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 43 seconds.
It's mean a lot to me, especially for Kenyans. They believe on us and they sent us over there. And I managed, I won. So it's mean a lot to me. And after from injuries, and now I'm back, it's motivated me to go higher and higher.
Congratulations once again there to Team Kenya. Now let's switch gears and
to the county of Kilifi, where the president was. And these are reports compiled by John Jacob Kuria, medical personnel who ask for out-of-pocket payment from patients visiting health facilities up to level 4 will be arrested and prosecuted.
That's right. President William Ruto says that the Social Health Authority is designed to provide free primary health care and will therefore not allow errant medical personnel to sabotage the health scheme.
How are you, my friend? Very good.
Well, on a walking tour of Kilifi County, where he laid the foundation stone of a Vipingo Special Economic Zone and inspected road projects, the president spoke tough over what he says are troubling reports of health sector players demanding out-of-pocket payment from patients.
Hapa hizi hospitali zetu zote tumesema hospitali ni mahali ambapo kila mwananchi wa Kenya anapaswa kwenda pale apate dawa, apate kushughulikiwa na aende nyumbani asiulizwe pesa yeyote, kwa sababu serikali ya Kenya tumeweka pesa katika mpango wa kuhakikisha kwamba kila mwananchi anatibiwa.
Ruto says his administration is keen on achieving the elusive universal healthcare goal.
Matibabu sio starehe ya wale wenye wako na uwezo ama matajiri. Matibabu ni haki ya kila Mkenya. Na ndio sababu hiyo tumeweka pesa ya serikali. Mwaka huu tumeweka shilingi bilioni 21.
The president also announced the extension of a dual carriageway from Nyali to Vipingo, which he says will open up trade, particularly with the construction of a Vipingo Special Economic Zone.
Kwa muda mrefu, chai yetu, kahawa yetu, minerals tulizo nazo, avocado inaenda ng'ambo bila ya kufanyiwa processing. Na tumesema ili nafasi ya ajira ipatikane Kenya, tunataka hiyo mambo ya viwanda iwe hapa Kenya. Tuuze mali yetu, ikishafanyiwa value addition, ikishafanyiwa processing, ajira zipatikane hapa na wale wakulima wetu waweze kupata pesa zaidi.
On politics, Ruto says he's unbothered about the criticism by his opponents and will present his development record in the 2027 polls.
Mimi nataka niwaulize, wenye kuamua nani atakuwa nini ni nyinyi ama wale wanatuimbia barabarani? Ni nyinyi ama ni wale? Si nyinyi ndio mtaamua? Si mtaamua ya MCA? Na ya mbunge mtaamua? Na ya governor mtaamua? Na ya rais mtaamua?
John Jacob Kuria, Prime Edition.
Let's take you now to the corridors of justice. The High Court has quashed the Director of Public Prosecution's decision to review and withdraw corruption-related charges amounting to over 50 million shillings against cooperatives and micro, small and medium enterprises. Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya during his tenure as a governor.
Giving his judgment, Judge Benjamin Sioki termed the move as unconstitutional, irregular and void.
Now, the judge further ruled that the Director of Public Prosecution, Renson Mulele, beg your pardon, acted without transparency, accountability, or even consultation with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, thereby usurping its investigative mandate.
And as Ruth Mboya reports, the authority to charge the former Kakamega governor now stands activated.
EACC had moved to court to contest the DPP's move, arguing that the DPP usurped its powers. Justice Benjamin Musyoke, sitting at Milimani's Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division, agreed with the EACC that the DPP's move was unconstitutional. The judge observed that the DPP's July 8, 2024 letter directing the closure of Oparanya's matter was shrouded in misery and worked against public interest. The court also ruled that while the DPP has wide discretion to institute or discontinue criminal proceedings, that power must be exercised within the confines of the Constitution and the DPP's 2019 guidelines on charges. Elsewhere, Milimani High Court has issued a warrant of arrest against a British national who murdered a Kenyan woman, Agnes Wanjiru Wanjiko, at a hotel in Nanyuki, Laikipia County in 2012. Senior prosecuting counsels from the ODPP, Vincent Monda and Gikui Gishui, urged the court to grant a warrant to facilitate formal processes for the suspect's arrest and surrender, since he has not presented himself to Kenyan authorities as he remains abroad.
This court now grants the warrant of arrest as prayed. The court is satisfied that the bundle presented before it.
Judge Alexander Muteti ordered the suspect to be extradited to the Kenyan's jurisdiction and face the murder charges.
Cause to order the arrest of the accused and his surrender before this court for trial. The offense of murder in Kenya is an extraditable offense, and the same satisfies the requirements of dual criminality under Cap 77 of the laws of Kenya. It is so ordered.
Mention of the case has been scheduled for 21st October to confirm compliance. Meanwhile, the High Court has closed and withdrawn a petition over habeas corpus against Tech Guru Ndiang'ui Kinyage, who had previously been reported missing at his Kino house over 2 months ago. Through his lawyer, senior counsel Mother Karua, Kinyage stated his decision to remain incommunicado stemmed from genuine apprehension where individuals picked by police were later found dead.
The mother did not in any way deliberately mislead the Law Society. She acted in the manner any mother, any relative, responsible relative would when somebody disappears.
While closing the case, Justice Chachamwita ordered the police to stop threatening or harassing Kinyagia and release his gadgets taken from his house for investigations.
The court has taken into account the second petitioner's concerns that led to his disappearance. He went into hiding for fear of his life, and the steps taken by the second petitioner were not, in my view, extraordinary.
Finally, the interdicted Homa Bay County employee Beatrice Masia Kugo has been charged with assault and causing actual body harm. The charges stem from an incident on September 14th at Lake Front in Homa Bay County, where Kugo is accused of willfully and unlawfully assaulting People Daily reporter Habil Onyango Olo. The prosecution stated that Akugo committed the offense in the company of others who are not before the court.
The accused person is admitted to a bond of Kenya shillings 30,000 with a surety of like sum, cash bail of Kenya shillings 20,000, pre-trial conference on the 30th of September 2025, others remanded in custody.
Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
University workers will start a nationwide strike on Wednesday, a demand that they have put at 2.73 billion shillings owed by the government in salary arrears and allowances dating back to 2021.
Now, the university workers are also demanding the full implementation of the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement.
This despite the Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba stating that the funds will be released by the end of this month.
Here's our reporter Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
Solidarity forever. Operations in public institutions and colleges will be paralyzed as lecturers and non-teaching staff across the country down their tools effective midnight Tuesday. Divided, we shall never be divided. The strike has been called by the university's academic staff union WASU, the Kenya University Staff Union KUSU, and the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers KUDEIHA, who said they have resorted to industrial action after the lapse of Tuesday's deadline for the government to remit the pending salary and allowances arrears.
It has come that time when we want to inform the government, the CS Ministry of Labor, the CS Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Finance, that effective from tonight midnight, all workers in public universities we will not be able to report to their duties.
The arrears include 2.73 billion shillings from Phase 2 of the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement that was due in July, and 8.8 billion shillings outstanding from the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement.
Unless the workers are paid the 2.75 billion shillings in their accounts by end of tomorrow. 7 days notice from 9th, 16th. So tomorrow we are on.
In a quick rejoinder, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has assured funds will be released by the end of this month.
We are working with Treasury as we speak to ensure that that money is released within the next 2 weeks or by the end of this month. As we speak, we'll be getting some confirmation from Treasury as to which is the actual date when that exchequer will be released. And this information, once passed to WASU, they will then have a discussion and see whether it is enough for them to be able to withdraw the notice and continue with the studies until that money is paid.
Speaking after the inauguration of the newly appointed and reappointed council members at the Kenyatta University, the Cabinet Secretary said that the ministry will present the offer to the unions to avert a strike.
But we are negotiating. It is something that I'm encouraging them, that the government is committed to fulfill the obligations that were provided for in the CBA, in the return to work formula.
Meanwhile, Ogamba revealed that the government is conducting a nationwide verification of student and school data following an Auditor General's report questioning previous records.
What we are doing is we are verifying the number of learners we have in each school, how many learners are in each grade, whether female or male, and then once we complete that exercise, we release the resources to those schools every day in the evening.
The CS noted that significant progress has been made in restoring financial stability in public universities. Out of 43 universities, 23 were technically insolvent when the Kenya Kwanza administration came into office. According to the CS, that number has since reduced to 14, with a target to achieve full sustainability across all institutions within the next 2 or 3 years. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Moving on, Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Alice Wahome, has taken issue with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's remarks describing her as a flower girl in President William Ruto's cabinet.
Speaking in Kandara in Murang'a County, CS Wahome faulted the former Deputy President for what she termed as continued attempts to undermine her role in government.
She maintains that she has effectively executed a mandate and is enjoying a cordial working relationship with both the head of state and also the principal secretaries in her ministry.
The CS further outlined various projects her ministry is implementing, including the construction of modern markets and the affordable housing initiative.
Deputy President, tangu atoke kwa serikali, hata wakati amekuwa kwa serikali, yeye ndiye alikuwa ananisumbua. Hii siasa ya kuingilia viongozi wengine sio ya ungwana na sio sawa. Tafuta kazi kwa raia, tafuta kura na mbinu zako za kusema yale utafanya. Mbona ukuje nyumbani kusema ninakulilia? Unataka nifutwe kazi ndio wewe uone mtu wa kufanya kazi na wewe. Kama nataka kuongea aongee maneno ya mimi niko na mdomo yangu, mimi ni wakili na jielewa na ninajua pale niko na pale ninaenda na nitajua maneno ya kujipanga kisiasa.
1:15 to the top of the hour. That story brings us to our first break here on Prime Edition. But coming up,
maternal death crisis, and we have the numbers. Stay with us.
Jeshi la Ulinzi la Kenya KDF linawatangazia zoezi la usajili wa Kenya ambao wangependa kujiunga nao kama wanajeshi. Zoezi hili litafanyika mwezi Oktoba mwaka huu. Usajili ambao utafanyika ni wa General Service Officers GSO, Cadets Regular and Graduates, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Women na Defense Forces Constables. Je, una ndoto za kutumikia taifa la Kenya kama mwanajeshi? Kwa maelezo zaidi, tegea KBC Radio Taifa tarehe 20 mwezi huu wa Septemba. Punde tu baada ya taarifa ya habari ya saa 1 usiku. Kadhalika, kwa maelezo zaidi ya wale ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya, tembelea tovuti ya www.mod.go.ke. Kumbuka, tendo la hongo na ufisadi wa aina yoyote ni kinyume cha sheria na hakuna anayeweza kushawishi usajili wako, kwani zoezi hili ni la bila malipo kwa wale wote ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya. Ukikubali kuadaiwa, utapoteza pesa na mali yako na kuishia korokoroni.
Afadhali kujikubali venye uko kuliko kujichocha na una kakitu.
Yaani Shiro, wewe ni private sector, utwache na amani.
Kisaka, rudi kwa gate tafadhali.
We. Tungo zifuto kazi.
Paul, nimechoka na hii familia. I am so tired of this family.
Umefanya kazi yangu ipotee.
Kijana ako na kifua.
Si nilikuwa nimefunga kondoo pale.
Moto.
Linda na pesa.
Niko na kero nafaa kupatia Elijah. Nikimpata daddy. Hawezi ita maneno matamu kama super baby.
Wewe ushaona Matilda yule wangu?
Kwani dada amerudia pombe?
Uongo.
Kama nini unaangalia sana hivyo?
Zile vyetu ni supu. Cindy, baby girl. Target itaepa.
Welcome back, our socials.
At KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Tembe, you're watching from Donholm. Thank you for your company. Continue talking to us on our social media platforms. Tom, on to another story.
Yes, the one about the stalemate between the National Police Service and the National Police Service Commission. Now that stalemate is persisting, with the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, insisting that the matter be heard in camera, citing issues of national security.
After hours of the closed-door meeting, the committee emerged revealing deliberations of the meeting, among them the resolution that the recruitment of constables proceeds immediately.
Here's that report.
The Committee on Constitutional Implementation and Oversight, CIOC, was on Tuesday confronted with the long-running tough wars between the National Police Service and the National Police Service Commission over who holds the mandate to recruit police officers. The meeting was held behind closed doors following a request by the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja.
I would suggest that we do it in camera, considering that they are weighty matters and they touch on our national security.
As Kenyans really want to know the many things, the many issues that have been happening between the National Police Service and the IG's office.
And after the meeting, the committee directed that the recruitment of constables proceeds immediately, even as it admitted the online recruitment system should be improved for inclusivity.
Recruitment of the 10,000 police constables should proceed immediately. And the Police Service Commission will have a meeting on Thursday to fine-tune the modalities of doing so. And you may have been informed that there was an attempt to do online recruitment. We don't have a problem with online recruitment, where the first process is online applications and then shortlisting, and then people go for the physical examination. But the problem is we don't have the regulations in place to anchor the online recruitment.
The committee further stressed the need to prioritize officers' welfare with institutional housing and a new payroll system forming part of the broader police reforms.
Committee, working with the Housing Committee and other agencies in government, will prioritize institutional housing for police officers within the police stations across the entire country.
The two institutions were further given 60 days to iron out the issue of quorum in commission sittings, which has hampered decision-making and delayed reforms in the police service.
Kenya's maternal death ratio stands at 355 deaths for every 100,000 live births.
Dr. Edward Serem, head of the Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health at the Ministry of Health, says that despite investments on health, outcomes are not translating as expected, emphasizing the need for advocacy in driving sustainable health system improvements.
Mariambo compiled this report.
Leaders in Kenya's health sector, civil society, government and development partners gathered for a high-level advocacy forum focused on maternal and newborn health. Convened under the health NGO network HENET, the event called for an end to preventable maternal and newborn deaths in Kenya. Dr. Edward Serem, head of reproductive, maternal, newborn, child and adolescent health at the Ministry of Health, called for accountability in leadership.
It's advocacy which is key, because it brings in leadership, and in leadership is when you will have resources. Because for us to drive, to make sure that the healthcare workers are there, the commodities are there, they are trained, and all this, it is resources.
Kenya's maternal death ratio stands at 355 deaths per 100,000 live births, translating to as many as 6,000 maternal deaths annually, nearly 20 every day. Dr. Kirekio Mwana, consultant obstetrician gynecologist and president of the Kenya Obstetrics and Gynecology Society, said postpartum hemorrhage, overbleeding, is a leading cause, worsened by lack of essential commodities.
Commodities, these are the things that we use around these mothers who have complicated. There is what we call balloon tamponade, for example, anti-shock garments, and so on and so forth. This should be available in every hospital where mothers deliver. We have challenges with medications. Sometimes the medications that are available are actually not very good medication.
Lisa Mushega, project lead on maternal, newborn and child health at HENET, reinforced the urgent need for implementation, not just policy.
We are bringing together all the key players. It's multi-sectoral approach, making sure that every woman, everywhere, every child and adolescent thrives.
Maria Ambo reporting for the Prime Edition.
In a move aimed at boosting efforts to eradicate polio and other epidemics in the country, the Ministry of Health has inaugurated an expanded polio laboratory at the Kenya Medical Research Institute here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Speaking during the inauguration ceremony on Tuesday, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale confirmed that the facility will help in advancing genomic sequencing and strengthening regional health security.
Joseph Wahungu reports.
For years, medics leading the battle against polio and other outbreaks in the country have had to send samples abroad, waiting weeks for results as communities remained vulnerable. The Ministry of Health is promising change with the launch of an expanded polio laboratory at KEMRI headquarters in Nairobi.
The test used to be sent to South Africa, to CDC headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, in the US. It used to take between 35 to 40 days. So now we are no longer going to rely on external labs.
I think we want to see this as a legacy, let me say, asset. The idea is that beyond the polio, this infrastructure serves in strengthening surveillance and also diagnosis of other pathogen of epidemic and pandemic potential.
Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, who presided over the launch of the laboratory, said the new genomic sequencing lab will not only fight polio, but also track threats like mpox, measles, rubella, and even Ebola, making Kenya a regional safety net.
And above all, it will firmly establish Kenya as a regional leader in polio surveillance and research. So this lab will be used by many countries, from Yemen to Comoros to Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Sudan, and many, many other countries.
Africa continues to record hundreds of public health events, from disease outbreaks, conflicts, floods, drought situation, and therefore building this capacity is paramount for enhancing our security.
Duale has also noted that the facility will offer opportunities for young Kenyan researchers, hence boost the manpower for early detection. The government has also promised to enhance KEMRI's funding to enable it to live up to its billing as a critical health security infrastructure.
But I want to thank the scientists and the leadership of KEMRI. Out of their way, they have a lot of funding, and we will continue to support them. But domestically, we will be deliberate to make sure that KEMRI gets its fair share in the budget.
Joseph Ohungu for Prime Edition.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
As you can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Continue talking to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Let's cross over to the county of Homa Bay concerns the quest to have the county governments enhance their own source of revenue and reduce over-reliance on the exchequer to fund their operations dominated the Senate County Public Accounts Committee's meeting with Homa Bay County government on Tuesday.
During the meeting that also dwelt on audit queries, Governor Gladys Wanga was tasked to explain why the county is spending 52% of the revenue on compensation of employees, as well as 117 million shillings on unsupported legal fee, as flagged by the Auditor General.
What is, maybe the fiscal analyst can tell us, Chair, what is the revenue potential of Homa Bay? That what is the revenue potential? Of course, as a county of endless potential, what is the revenue?
Does it concern you and your government that 70% of your own source revenue comes from a single stream? You know, that should concern anyone. Whether or not that means you introduce fees in landing and whatever you're going to do, it must concern anyone that 70% of an entire county's own source revenue comes from one revenue stream.
You need to prove to us those numbers. Your revenue potential is $1 billion, but you had a budget of 2.3 billion. That also brings to doubt the projections from the CRA. Because if Homa Bay can project 2.3B and they're doing 1.2B, unless those projections exclude hospital fees.
Actual revenues in 2022-2023 was 5.9 million, and then actual revenues in 2023-24 was 8.3 million. That is for land rates as an example. If you look at single business permits, in 2022-2023, there were 61,770,000. If you look at 2023-2024, we moved from 61 million to 99 million. And in 2024-2025, we are at 101 million. So we have, because of the revenue administration measures, including the board, we have had improvement, not just in the health revenue, but in all our revenue streams.
At just 56 years of age, Dr. Isaac Kalua has lived many lives in one, wearing hats of different colors, a leader, a philanthropist, and an eco-hero.
Now, but beyond the face of fame lies an inspiring story of a man who has walked the journey of resilience. In his memoir titled Green for Life, Kalua, popularly known as Dr. Kalua Green, hopes to continue inspiring generations.
John Kahiro takes us through this journey of hope and impacts.
He wears many hats: a father, a leader, a philanthropist, and more prominently, an eco-hero. Born in 1969, Dr. Isaac Kalua rose against all odds from the dusty parts of Kitui County to becoming a renowned businessman. He is currently the chairperson of Honda Motorcycles Kenya and previously served as the founding chairperson of the Kenya Water Towers Agency.
I have managed sports at different levels, from cricket to women's soccer in this country, to AFC Leopards, into KFF, and many other sporting opportunities. I know one thing, that we fail in Africa and many other countries even out there. Sports should be run as a business. Sports should be taken seriously. There would be no issues, and it would be a great opportunity for employment for our young people if we took sports as a business.
He often speaks of the hard lessons of his childhood and humble beginnings, being raised by an inspiring father who first worked in prison service and later as President Daniel Arap Moi's gardener.
I was diagnosed with diabetes about 2 decades ago. And when I went to see the doctor, it was very clear that I would have held it back if I did not get too much into alcoholism and this kind of nature. But I fastened the process into that level just because of my high consumption of alcohol at that time. And even though I am out of that, I still would tell my younger me to avoid that kind of a situation because it's a health issue.
His second transformation came with a more passionate calling of the environment. His love for conservation has garnered him the name Green, a symbol of his bond with the nature. In the noble cause, he has spearheaded climate action conversations, championed tree planting and sustainable development initiatives, which have earned him recognition not just locally but at the global stage.
Every opportunity that you engage yourself into will be able to bring out money to your pocket. It's job opportunities, it is unmatched. And therefore I want to encourage the youth of this country, the youth of the continent of Africa, the youth world over. Green is the future that we must look at. We must redefine what it means within the principle, the green principle that I represent every single day, that will bring opportunities for livelihoods with our people.
Through his Green for Life initiative, Dr. Green continues to plant hope for a cleaner and healthier future through programs such as the Plant Your Age initiative.
Through Plant Your Age, we encourage individuals, corporates, and even governments to plant trees according to specific events of life.
Beyond business and conservation, Dr. Kalua is a mentor and a leader. Though he is the founder of the Green Thinking Action Party, he says he has never let politics define him. His is a quiet and values-driven form of leadership anchored in philanthropy, mentorship, and community development.
I would like to represent a future where it is not about positions first. It is about the reality, the hearts of the people, the electorate, the issues, what makes people do what they do in the best way possible, and not positions.
And on the 14th of September 2025, Dr. Isaac Kalua Green marked yet another milestone, the unveiling of his memoir titled Green for Life. The book is a blend of memoir and professional reflection that details over 3 decades of Kalua's work in conservation, business, and politics. His mother, Mama Deborah Kavu, was the chief guest at the book launch. He says the documentation of his life from brokenness to boldness will be availed not just in bookshops but also shared in churches and community spaces.
My life has presented itself in a manner that I imagined my experience should be a cue to making people earn the experience that I have had and move faster in life. So it is meant to encourage people, to give them an opportunity to learn from the mistakes that I have made previously. And particularly, one of the chapters talks about mistakes, problem solving, and respect for others. MPR, it's an MPR lens, and therefore I believe this is a toolkit for many people in life to be able to apply and make progress in life.
More than just a memoir, Dr. Green believes that the 56-chapter book will inspire generations through spreading his journey of resilience, which began with struggle and scarcity, to resilience and global impact.
My life, I would like it to be read like a book. But also it has been a painstaking moment of 14 years, trying to put together the 30 years into a story that the world would be able to understand, so that it is a manual that is going to take the readers to a new level.
John Kahiro for Prime Edition.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
Mimi tangu lini nimetoka nyumbani pira nini ya ndani nikuje nifae za company.
Sasa mimi hawezi kujua mara ngapi, lakini siku ile sisi lisika wewe ilikuwa tu pengele.
Hata uoni haya kutembea bila
mimi kiketu tu sisi hatufahangi ile ndani. Sasa kwani kuna makosa gani? Mimi vile uliniona nilikuwa short but round. I was just like that.
Like that na ya kampuni tu beki.
Asa hiyo ni pi.
Imagine.
Kulingana na uchunguzi ilijulikana kwamba biashara ya kuiba nguo na kuuza haukuanza jana ama juzi.
Sasa hiyo kielele umeleta mpaka huku utaongeza madaraka.
A very good evening to you. Thank you for staying with Prime Edition. It's time for the business news. My name is Betty Kiptum. Millers should scale up their fortification as Kenya intensifies efforts to guarantee food sufficiency and nutritional security for its citizens. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi says food security should be viewed as an urgent national priority and not as a distant aspiration.
Food fortification, which is the process of adding essential vitamins and minerals to staple foods such as flour and edible oils, has been recognized globally as a cost-effective strategy to combat hidden hunger, malnutrition, and stunted growth. In Kenya, micronutrient deficiencies remain a challenge, particularly among children and vulnerable populations, making fortification a critical intervention. Mudavadi highlights the inclusion of edible oils in the 2025 edition of the Kenya's Miller Fortification Index Awards as proof of strong industry commitment and broader impact.
Efficiency means more than just full plates. It means stable families, thriving communities, and a country free to chase bolder dreams. When we secure our food, we unlock the energy to invest in education for our youth, innovation in our industries, and equity in our society.
He says the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project is a flagship agricultural transformation initiative anchored by a 450 million litre reservoir, electrified irrigation systems, and modern canals that will turn arid lands into productive food baskets.
This project is set to transform arid lands into bread baskets, scaling maize production and fortifying our path to self-sufficiency.
He said Kenya is collaborating with FAO, Spain, and Tony Blair Institute to advance food security through land governance, irrigation, and technology.
To amplify this drive, from the Food and Agricultural Organization, support for digital land governance and climate resilient systems, announced at the UN Food Systems Summit in July.
Sylvia Gatti for Prime Edition.
Well done.
And the State Department of Arid and Semi-Arid Lands is seeking 4 billion shillings to mitigate food shortages due to projected below-par rains during the October to December period. Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development Principal Secretary, that is Kelo Harsame, says the money will be for strengthening the food supply chain and livestock restocking.
World Meteorological Organization has projected depressed rains in the Horn of Africa region in the October-December period, highlighting that there is a 60% chance of La Nina during the period. This has prompted the State Department for Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development to seek financing for mitigating the adverse effect of dry weather patterns.
More than 4 billion shillings will be required to take care of that food shortage, so that the government buys food for people who will be affected by drought in the next 3 months.
Harsame says part of the amount will be used to strengthen the food supply chain in counties expecting a bumper harvest.
We have 23 ASAL counties which do not produce food. So any kind of food purchase we require, we are going to purchase from our own local farmers.
The cash will also be spent on the livestock offtake and restocking programs.
The Department of Special Programs is on standby to provide any Kenyan affected by drought, any Kenyan affected by food shortage.
The latest IGAD regional forecast of the 2025 Global Report on Food Crises indicates that 42 million people in Kenya, Djibouti, Somalia, South Sudan, the Sudan and Uganda face high levels of acute food insecurity.
Given current forecast of another below-average rainy season across the Horn of Africa, FAO is calling for anticipatory actions now before the current drought escalates into a large-scale humanitarian emergency that will cost far more to address.
These are struggling with currency depreciation, debt, high food prices, significant dependence on food imports amidst global economic volatility, worsening the situations we find ourselves in.
Benson Drioba reporting for Prime Edition.
And residents of Ololoitikoshi in Kajiado County are decrying loss of investment and employment opportunities following the failure by a company to allow extension of a runway to accommodate larger aircrafts. Community leaders have now given the directors of the company a 7-day ultimatum to address the issues.
The facility, which has been in operation for more than 2 decades, the Aerodome, which is privately run, also hosts the Kenya School of Flying. However, according to Ololoitikoshi residents, the facility has failed to meet agreements they struck 9 years ago.
Jaribu kwa kila wakati kuzungumza na hawa wazungu waajiri watu wa area hii kazi na walikataa. Hata watu they are very much stubborn.
Nafasi za watoto wetu kupata kazi imeenda chini kwa ajili ya hiyo dhuluma. Na hiyo ndio tumekuja kukanusha leo na kukataa. Kusema ya kwamba hatutaki.
Among grievances by residents is the refusal by the facility to extend one of the runways, runway 7, to allow for larger aircraft, which is denying them the much needed employment and investment opportunities.
Hata security wise, it is not secure. Landing a mandege haya, this place is so pressed. Anytime there will be a disaster here, we need a full-fledged runway. A full-fledged runway ambayo iko secure na ambayo hata hizi wanaitanga nini hii majumbo wacha wakuja hapa kwetu tupate kazi.
The refusal
to allow a crucial runway extension by the investor has directly impeded operations and threatened livelihoods and further investments in our area.
However, responding to accusations, Oli Air Park chairperson Christian Strebel said in the last general meeting held in April this year, shareholders decided not to extend Runway 7. It was a decision made by shareholders. A senior deputy county commissioner, Michael Yator, says the government is seized of the matter.
Hivi karibuni tutakuwa na kikao na bodi ya Oli. Na tujue ni kwa nini tangu waanzishe mradi huu hawaja shirikiana na wananchi wa area hii.
And the Food and Agriculture Organization will establish circular economies in county aggregation and industrial parks being constructed across Kenya. FAO Circular Economy lead Caroline Koskei says the organization has successfully completed 168 million shilling circular economy projects in some counties and is supporting the drafting of policies that will scale up the rollout of circular economies in all county aggregation and industrial parks in Kenya.
There is need for Kenya to put in place recycling mechanisms and plans at county aggregation and industrial parks to support the circular economy to reduce food wastage and loss. The Food and Agriculture Organization says circular economy will maximize farmers' earnings through production of byproducts from farm produce.
At the end of the day, we'll still have waste. So what do we do with this waste? So how do we convert that waste into a resource?
Circular economy will also reduce emission from agricultural activities and enhance value addition efforts.
So partnering with the national government and the county government, how do we ensure that these KIPES do not contribute to pollution? We know what KIPES and industrial parks have done globally in terms of contributing to pollution. So setting up policies and guidelines and SOPs to see how they manage those parks.
This is a principle in the Sustainable Waste Management Act so that we promote county aggregation industrial parks where industries that can benefit from each other in a symbiotic way are aggregated together and developed.
FAO has completed a 168 million circular economy project in the counties of Laikipia and Nyamira, where producers, micro, small and medium enterprises and other players have been trained on sustainable production.
That product leaves the farm and all those actors that go along the value chain until it gets to the table, and that's where you find a lot of waste happening. So we managed to train them on new technologies that would help them convert this waste that come across into resources and make money.
Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
And that story by Benson Rioba brings us to a close of the business news this evening. Sports news is coming up. Mboya is standing by for that. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do have yourself a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
As you can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Let's get sporty now. The Kenya Police Bullets secured the bronze in the Sekafa CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers after they edged out Kampala Queens 1-0 in the third playoff as JKT Queens from Tanzania beat Rayon Sports by a solitary goal to win the title in the thrilling finale. Sean Muya has the details.
Akifunga dhidi ya bingwa mtetezi CBE.
Winfrida Gerald found the back of the net 5 minutes into the match after Rayon Sports' defense failed to deal with a cross inside the penalty area. Rayon pressed for an equalizer, but JKT held on to clinch the qualifiers trophy and earn their spot as Sekafa representatives in this season's CAF Women's Champions League.
Janet Pangamwene naweka kwenye njia kule Winfrida.
In the fight for bronze, Margaret Kunihira's long-range free kick was enough to ensure Kenya Police Bullets secured the bronze medal against Kampala Queens in a lackluster match. Sean Muya for Prime Edition.
JKT mabingwa Sekafa kinadada.
The overall winner of the 2025-2026 FKF Premier League will pocket 15 million shillings after title sponsor SportsPesa increased the prize of money for the top tier league from the initial 5 million shillings to 20 million shillings. This was confirmed Tuesday morning following the official launch of the new season.
Excitement is building up as football fans across the country get ready for the kickoff of this season's FKF Premier League, which is set to commence this Friday with a match pitting 2021-2022 champions Tusker FC and KCB. And the clubs are set to reap big after title sponsors of the league, SportPesa, dramatically raised the prize for the overall winner of the 2025-2026 FKF Premier League. Previously set at 5 million shillings, the top prize has now been increased to 20 million shillings.
In terms of the value of the partnership, we will definitely expect to grow with SportPesa as well. The 10-year tenure gives us stability, most importantly, but also gives us opportunities to enhance further and to continue building on this partnership.
We want to discuss with especially KBC to ensure that the free-to-air games, because Azam is the broadcast sponsor, but we need to have some free-to-air games that are going on our local TV channels so that fans who are not paying for pay TV can access the games.
Police FC, the reigning champions, will open their title defense with a match pitting Mara Sugar on Saturday. Record league champions Gor Mahia will face Bidco United, while newbies APS Bomet and Nairobi United will face Shabana and Kakamega Homeboys, respectively. FC Leopards will face Sofapaka, while Murangasil will face Ulinzi in other matches.
18 teams will be battling for top honors as the new FKF Premier League season. Now, SportPesa League is set to kick off this weekend. Newbies, APS, Bomet FC, and Nairobi United all will be in action this Sunday. Reporting for Prime Edition Sports, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
The United Nations Social Development Goals has unveiled a partnership with the Kenyan government that will see a creation of a sports hub aimed at spearheading sports for development and peace program to empower youth and communities from the grassroots levels and also to achieve sustainable development goals. The partnership will see Fireflies Sports, a Pan-African sports company, identity, train, mentor, and develop talent from grassroots levels with financing provided by the Sports Ministry and development partners. The chairman of the UN SDG, Professor Madhu Krishan, who was speaking during the unveiling of the partnership here in Nairobi, Kenya, said that the initiative will be rolled out from early next month and will be implemented by the Kenya Academy of Sports in collaboration with the development partners.
Accomplish the mission of establishing global peace through the sports education. I repeat again and again, sports education. Right from the beginning, right from the, I think even in the academic curriculum also, it has to be added. Compulsory, not as a hobby.
The incubation center will offer programs that will be able to support the sports startups in this country and sport techs in this country, and we'll be able to go to the grassroots level.
Investing through our sports ministry in different areas of sports. We have the Kenya Sports Academy that is building sports hubs across the country. The sports ministry is building stadiums.
The national amputee men football team is back from their victorious outing in Burundi, where they won the Confederation of Eastern Central Africa Amputee Football Federation Cup. The team, under the tutelage of Francis Ochola, beat Tanzania 2-0 in the final to lift the coveted trophy. Kenya was awarded a direct ticket to the final after their opponents, Democratic Republic of Congo, failed to honor their semi-final fixture. They had topped Group B, where they beat Tanzania and Uganda. This was the first ever championship win for Kenya since the formation of the federation way back in 2010.
Wengi wao wako na mazoea ya hii game, lakini sisi pia tulichikagamua vilivyo. So tunashukuru sana serikali yetu kutupea hiyo fursa ya kwenda kuwakilisha nchi yetu.
I can tell the sports minister that a game is a game. There is no game for persons with disability. There is no game with able-bodied. A trophy, it is now for us all. There is nowhere it is indicated that this is for the disability. No. When we come to the world of sport, everything should be channeled equally.
Well, that's all we had time for. We want to thank you so much for watching on behalf of the back-end team of Prime Edition.
Thank you for your time.
Exactly.
Thank you for your feedback also on our social media platforms. Time does not allow us. I was trying to go through them. There are quite many.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I go first. My
Yes.
name is Muchuma Odim.
And
our sign language for tonight is Caroline Jeroge.
And I am Mboya. Good night. We'll see you next week on Monday and Tuesday when the clock strikes 9. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive.